Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Super Gaming Minute, the channel dedicated to all things Nintendo and gaming. There are rumors going around, my friends, rumors of Nintendo releasing Game Boy and Game Boy Color games onto the Nintendo Switch online service. And it looks like we may hear about what Nintendo has in store for us as early as next week, during the rumored Nintendo Direct, which is definitely in line with past Nintendo Directs and also lining up with most people's Nintendo Switch online subscription renewal. And since then, I've been trying to go over different ideas for different videos, and I started thinking about different Game Boy and Game Boy Color games that Nintendo has very recently remade, and there is quite a few that they've brought into the modern world and onto the Nintendo Switch. Titles such as Advance Wars, Famicom Detective Club, Metroid Samus Returns, which actually came onto the 3DS, but should totally make its way onto the Switch. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, as well as almost every Pokemon game. It got me thinking about which games that I think deserve to get the remake treatment, games that were wonderful experiences on the Game Boy, but would definitely benefit by being remade for the modern generation of gaming. I was also thinking that it would be fun to hear your thoughts on the subject. Not necessarily Game Boy games, but any game that you feel should get a remake. Make sure you comment down below your pick. Also guys, don't forget to like the video if you are excited for Nintendo's next Direct and are excited for the possibility of Game Boy and Game Boy Color games coming to the Switch. But the most important thing you guys can do is subscribe to Super Gaming Minute if you like talking all things Nintendo and gaming. And without further ado, these are my picks of Game Boy and Game Boy Color games that I think Nintendo should remake. As far as Kirby games go, these games are the cream of the crop. They helped solidify Kirby as a main IP for Nintendo. Now there are rumblings going around about a brand new Kirby game coming to the Switch, which could actually be showcased during Nintendo's September Direct, but that's besides the point. The original Kirby's Dream Land aside, which is a great title in its own regard, Kirby's Dream Land 2 is a Game Boy platformer from way back in 1995 and considered among the series' best. And considering how long the Kirby franchise has been around and with new Kirby games coming out all the time, this game is still considered one of the best installments in the franchise. Imagine just how great they could make these two titles, bringing these games to the platform in actual color with new graphics, more in-depth level development, but still keeping the original game's charm would be an amazing thing. And if Nintendo brought them to the Switch in a multi-pack, that would be absolutely wonderful. This is an interesting one. These games are fantastic Game Boy Color games, and I think many Zelda fans would agree with me. Now, we've seen Nintendo remake Zelda games before, whether in an HD remaster or a fully fledged remake in the way of Link's Awakening on Switch. So technically, Nintendo already has a working engine that would be perfect for these games. Imagine seeing them done in the way of Link's Awakening on Switch. The charming diorama style artwork is visually stunning, and it would be wonderful to see them use it more frequently, possibly even on a Minish Cap remake? Hell, remake all of the Zelda 2D games in this manner. But let's back up and save this for a different video. We're talking specifically Game Boy games here. Now on top of that, there are already rumblings of the Oracle games actually getting a remake coming in either 2022 or 2023, which yes, is just a rumor, but I can see totally happening. Not only that, but there was a rumored third Oracle game that was supposed to make its way onto the Game Boy as well, but never actually made its way onto there. Could we possibly be seeing Oracle of Seasons, Ages, and possibly the third version of the game? I mean, this video isn't supposed to go into speculation and rumors, but hey, it could totally happen. Please, Nintendo? Can we please have a remake of the Super Mario Land games? Just like every other game I mentioned before this one, these games are praised for its gameplay, all while looking great in the process, especially Super Mario Land 2, and especially considering this is a Game Boy title that looks better than the original Super Mario Bros. On the NES. Just imagine what they could do with these games on the Switch. With better textures and graphics, more in-depth levels and worlds, and of course we can't forget the music. Now as mentioned, these are great little platformer games which haven't seen the light of day since the early 90s. Most Nintendo fans these days haven't had a chance to experience some of the greatest Mario titles ever made, and that's a shame. And that can be said for the other titles on this list as well. A remake of these classic titles would be wonderful for Nintendo and its fans. Bringing them into the modern day and allowing Nintendo's newest and youngest fans a chance of playing them would be a great thing. Not only that, but Super Mario Land introduced enemies that we haven't seen since, such as the Knocklebon, King Totamisu, the Battle Beetle, and Skeleton Bee. Let's also not forget the incredible power-ups that Super Mario Land introduced us to, such as Space Mario and Bunny Mario. And while we're on the subject, if Nintendo decides to bring over the Super Mario Land trilogy, then they should bring over the Wario Land franchise over as well, since Super Mario Land 3 technically is the first Wario Land game. This could be incredible. For one, I've always loved the Wario Land games way more than the WarioWare franchise. Also, Wario is just such a unique character that is mainly overlooked and underutilized in my opinion. Not as much as Waluigi, but I digress. There's just so much that Nintendo can do with the Wario Land franchise. Now, I know we're here to speak about remakes, not new games with underused IPs, although that is a great idea for a video later. My thought for this is simple. Not only would it make sense for Nintendo to remake these games if it turned out that they were remaking the Wario Land games, because let's be real, as mentioned before, they kind of all go together. But not only that, they're just overall great games. Underrated and overlooked in my opinion. Plus, it would be a great excuse for Nintendo to bring over Wario Land on the Virtual Boy and sell Wario Land 2, Virtual Boy Wario Land, and Wario Land 3 in a remade trilogy of games. It won't ever happen, but I'd love it if they did. Okay, yes. Pokemon Gold and Silver have already been remade in the form of Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and you could say that Pokemon games get remade way too often and blah blah blah. But hear me out. Now yes, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver are wonderful remakes of these classics, but there's just so much more that they can do with them. Pokemon Gold and Silver are my favorites, specifically because they allow you to play through the Kanto region afterwards. Now, as wonderful as that was and how excited I was to be able to play through both regions and take on my former self, aka Red, from the original games, I do feel as though the Kanto region was sort of underwhelming. Every Pokemon encounter and gym leader were already so easy to defeat because your Pokemon were already so powerful. I imagine a Gold and Silver remake that not only challenges you during the first half, but also challenges you during the Kanto latter half. Another idea? Now, you may all disagree with me on this, and for that I can understand. But imagine if they remade these games in the style of the Let's Go series, where you can play through both regions in the same way as before, but with the catch mechanics and graphics of Let's Go, which, yes, I really liked. I even thought it would be cool if you were able to take your save data from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee and carry over the same character and all of your Pokemon from the Johto region, cleaning up the leftover scraps of Team Rocket and adding to your original Pokedex. It's a dream for me that will probably never happen, but I think it would be kind of cool. Alright guys, and that's it. These are my top picks of Game Boy and Game Boy Color games that I think Nintendo should remake. Are there any titles that you think deserve the remake treatment? Games that perhaps you feel younger players need to experience? Or maybe you just think that the original game was okay on the Game Boy, but could be that much better if they remade using new technology on a faster, more powerful, and modern system. Let us know in the comments and let's start a conversation. Also, don't forget to leave a like on your way out if you enjoyed the video. It helps get the video out and seen by more people, which in turn helps us out over here too. But the most important thing you guys could do would be to subscribe to Super Gaming Minute if you like talking all things Nintendo and gaming. Thank you all again so very much for watching the video. As you know, I truly appreciate you all, and as always, keep on gaming.